Hey, welcome to the Twin Cities Division.
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 I like mine better.
From the historic Y7 Depot, welcome to the Twin Cities Division.
Welcome to the Twin Cities Division.
Hello, Ken. Good evening. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Tom. It's good to see you. It's good to see all these bright and shiny faces or messages, I guess, on the side.
Yeah.
As Colin says, silence your cell phone and put your seat back and tray tables into a upright and locked position.
So, yeah, welcome everyone to our first adventure in the 2023-2024 Twin Cities Division Friday night live streams. We've got a really great show for you tonight. We have Joe Binish. I think everybody's trying to get a hold of Joe in the comments, so he's going to be popular. I think we're going to be rail fanning his layout. We have a video clip we created of if you were rail fanning Joe's Central in Minnesota from the Washington Avenue Depot. So that should be really interesting. And we're going to be having a few of those throughout the year. If you would like your layout featured, let us know and we'll come videotape your layout and make you look like a star, right, Ken?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we did, oh, see, Joe's back. Joe was gone for a minute. So I was going to say, you can see when we did Joe's, we had the ugly filter on. So, but now that he's back, we can't talk like that anymore.
Yeah, we have to kind of behave. So should we jump into the events here and talk about what we have going as we start the model railroad season?
Absolutely. And I think that's just really a phenomenal idea. In fact, I am working right now on the Twin City Division newsletter, and that'll be out as soon as we're done here. So, but take a look at some of the outside events that are going on. Granite City Train Show, the Upper Midwest Train Show. That's the Century College Train Show. I don't know why they have to.
Why they don't just call it Century College? We gotta.
They probably get paid by the character there.
It might be. It might be.
Yep. But also on the 18th, the Fremo N group is going to have an open house, and that'll be in Waseca. I don't know where. Waconia.
There we go.
It's in Waconia, Minnesota, and we'll have the address out for you in the newsletter. Also, this weekend, possibly, and next weekend for sure, the Minnesota Fremo, the HO guys, are going to have a display set up in the Burnsville Mall. And so that's going to be kind of interesting. They'll be there for a couple of months. So we're kind of looking forward to that. North Metro Model Railroad Club, that's a flea market, which is different than a train show in that it's called a flea market instead of a train show, but I think they're the same thing. But they'll also have their open house, and that takes us through the end of the year with things like that. But also on the 19th of November, the Hennepin Overland Group is going to have an open house at their layout, and there's also going to be operation slots available. And then in mid-December, the North Metro Group is going to have an operations event where you can come and operate on their layout. It's going to be a free will donation, and I know I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm happy to chip in because where else are you going to be able to get that kind of fun on a layout like that big? Plus, the good news is you can go upstairs afterwards and have a phenomenal dinner at Rose's Chinese restaurant. So just
Donuts.
keep fresh donuts. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. So those are the highlights of the stuff that's coming outside of our area. Then, of course, we got highlights of what's going on in the Twin City Division.
And here's a couple more. And then we also, if you have an event, let us know, and we'll update these for each show.
Yep.
So as you're heading into the new year, it looks like Newport's going to fire up their train show again.
Good.
And then down to La Crosse.
Exactly.
So if you have any events, contact us at the Gmail, and we will add you to our Friday night slides.
Yep.
So you want to talk about this? Here's the TCD events now. This is pretty big. You want to mention this again?
This is going to be the big one. This is exciting because it's something new we're trying. Randy Relander in the newsletter that you're going to get talks about, get your hands into things and try stuff and ultimately have fun. And here's an opportunity to do that on November 11th from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The Twin City Division is going to put on a hands-on skills day. And it's not exactly a clinic because sure, you're going to be able to sit there and learn as you do with a clinic, but you're also going to be able to get your hands dirty and do things. So we're going to have weathering freight cars. And it's not simply sit there and watch somebody weather. You're going to have a chance to do some weathering on cars that we're going to provide. But even better, if you want to, bring a car along yourself off of your fleet and weather it with with the with one of our mentors around. Uh, Water slide decals. Joe Binish is going to put this one on, and so again, we're going to have cars there and decals so you can practice doing water slide decals. But if you've got a project that you've been working on and you really want to try decaling it yourself, bring it along. And we're going to have sharp knives, uh, the decal setting solution, brushes, all the things that you're going to need to do decaling. But you probably have events of your own or items of your own that you've been collecting to do that. Maybe you have a special fluid that you like to use or a special hobby knife. Bring that along and try it out. And that's for two reasons. One, try it out to see how you really like it, but also to share those ideas because you may have a tool that is really exciting that everybody else wants to go out and buy for themselves. Everybody knows you can never have enough hobby tools. The last item is going to be static grass and tree making. And so we're going to actually have surfaces there where you could try doing static grass. You could try making little trees. We'll show you how to take the armatures, spray them with our favorite hairspray, and then shake the flocking over it. That really makes nice looking trees. But again, if you've got an idea, something that you've used that really works great, bring it along and show us. We don't claim to have all the information. We just have experience, and we're just willing to put it out there in front of everybody and teach you and let you help teach us some better ideas. In all cases, make sure you bring something along so that if you do some decaling or if you do some weathering, you can safely get your item back. And if you sit there and make yourself a couple trees, you're welcome to leave them there because I'll put them on my layout. But otherwise, you're welcome to take them home, bring a big paper bag or a box that you can put them in and start doing scenery on your layout right now. I saw Dan Lindfor's posted a thing about doing some operating on his narrow gauge. Well, it sure looked like plywood to me, but he ought to make a few trees and drill some holes, and even in the middle of the plywood, put a couple trees in there to have his first scenery. So that's what's happening on the 11th. There's going to be a $10. There's going to be a $10 charge for that. It is November 11th, 1 to 4. And I will tell you, if you don't get a Twin City Division newsletter by morning, and you're a Twin City Division member, then you need to contact us at info@TCD NMRA so that we can figure out why you're not getting it. And if you're outside the division and you want that information, don't hesitate to drop us a line also, and we'll send you out the newsletter because we'd love to have you come and join us. So that's the 11th. On the 14th, we're having our membership meeting. It's at the Union 32 Craft House. And
see, I got the address on there.
yeah.
Wrong slide.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got the address.
Okay.
And
Google
I'm
was free.
gonna put it in the chat right now, so that everybody's got it. There you go. It's in the chat. So it's going to start at 6 o'clock. Come have dinner with us. It's a good meals. Ken Borowski, who's our Egan expert, says they have 155 different taps, brews on tap. You will not get a prize if you get through all 155. We're not going there. But we're going to have a short meeting. Then we will, Mike Engler is coming and he's going to tell us about the National Narrow Gauge Convention that's coming here in 3 years, which I think is going to be kind of interesting. And then we're going to do something We're going to show some scenes, some prototype modeling scenes, and sit down and talk about them and discuss little details in there that we'd like to put in our layouts. And we call this honing our modeler's eye. So it's an opportunity for all of us to get better at seeing what makes great models. Then on December 9th, we're having a holiday social, and that's a Saturday. It's going to be in Hopkins at Dave Jasper's Railway Institute Museum, and that's 1515 South 5th Street. And again, I will post that in Hopkins, Minnesota.
And of course, I got the wrong date on there on that one. This is an old slide. I guess.
Jeez, Tom.
We got to fire the guy who makes these. That's what
Yeah, I know it. I know. So there's that that address. It's just going to be a good social event. We'll have soft drinks and snacks, and it's just going to be an opportunity to sit around and chat. At the end of the event, Dave Jasper went on a sail and rail trip from New York City to China, and it includes traveling all across Russia and China by train, which is kind of interesting. Some of the stories that come out of there are really interesting, but we're going to have a chance to hear from that, Dave, on that. And that gets us through the end of the year. But January 11th and February 8th, the Twin City Division meetings are going to be via Zoom. We're looking for a place where we could do our Zoom from, where if people say, oh, heck, I don't care if it's cold outside and it's Minnesota and there's 88 feet of snow and it's 52 below zero with a wind chill, I want to come to the meeting, and we'll do the meeting someplace and still broadcast it. February 24th is the operators retreat. We have more layouts this year. So if you were concerned about not wanting to sign up because you were afraid that there just weren't enough spots, sign up, because it's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of new people. It's learning operations in a pressure-free environment. Layouts, all the layout have been checked out to make sure that they're good. There's no attack rabbits. We'll have the rabbit under control, and there'll be good snacks. So plan on that.
We can't have too many. We will make a spot for you. We have more layouts
Absolutely
than operators. So
yep.
Don't let that deter you. We will find a couple places for you to learn operations.
Absolutely. And that's learning operations and meeting fellow modelers. That's what it's all about. Then March 14th, which is Pi Day, we're going to have our monthly meeting at the Perkins in Bloomington. And the suggestion is there, come for dinner, have a piece of pie to celebrate the day, or two if you like. And then we'll have presentations. March 16th is the annual Twin City Division Modelers Meet, and that'll be in the newsletter. It's going to be at the same place, Mount Olivet in Plymouth. We're going to use a different room, the room that we used the first year, because it's brighter, and everybody liked that. So Joe Binish is working on that. He already has 4 clinics lined up, but he'd like to do 8. And so if you've got a spot, get a hold of us at info@tcdnmra.org, and we will we'll get you locked up. So that's good. And of course, we're going to keep putting out more information on that. The April 11th meeting is at the Park Tavern in St. Louis Park. That's always a popular place. Then 2 weekends in April, we're going to have our spring layout tours. We're going to do the Northeast Metro, which is up by Rich Ramirez, and he's putting that one together. And we'd like to do the Southwest Metro. So we're looking for somebody that can help us organize that tour. May 7th is our TCD annual meeting. May 16th to 20th is going to be the Sawdust City Hauler Thousand Lakes Region Convention. And folks, that sounds like just a tremendous amount of fun. It's going to start Thursday afternoon with clinics, and the celebration room is going to open. Friday will be more clinics and celebration room. Friday afternoon, we're going to go ride the Chippewa Motor Car Association speeders on the old Milwaukee main line. Saturday, there's going to be more clinics and then a ride behind Livestream at the Carson Park. And then we'll come back to the hotel for happy hour and a banquet. I've been just told that happy hour in Wisconsin is a little more excessive than happy hour anywhere else on the planet. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it lasts from the end of the Packers game to when they start the next week. So
Until the Packers are eligible for the Super Bowl again, huh?
yeah, it just starts right up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Hey, but we have lots, right? I mean, just
we do, but hey, listen, one other key thing. They have a special rate of $85 per night for TLR guests. So we'll put out that information. So there you go, gang. That's all the news that's fit to print. And again, we will I'll send this all out to everybody later tonight.
yeah. So yeah, check back with us. We'll be here hopefully every Friday night with updated information and updated prices and anything else that comes up. And we also hope to see you in person at one of those events and one of our meetings coming up. We found some really nice locations for meetings.
Yes.
To have a meal, some social times, and a little activity. So we thank you for that. So maybe we should bring this guy up now and start chatting with him there. He seems popular in the chat. Everybody wants him to do something here. So there's Mr. Joe.
Gentlemen, how are you?
How are you, Joe?
I'm great.
So tell us what we're going to see tonight. We're going to the central of Minnesota. Tell us about your layout, the year and what you model and the location. And
All right, so it's 1953. Originally, I was going to do January, but then the thought of doing snow and that kind of stuff gave me a headache. So, plus it's cold enough down in the basement. So I model mostly the Minneapolis and St. Louis in Minneapolis, but I cherry picked a few things so that I could have some fun. So it's a lot of switching, industrial switching, that kind of thing. And then there's a few through trains or transfers. And then today we're going to be at Washington Avenue. A couple of photographers went out and did some time traveling and used their iPhones to take some videos. So we'll take a look at that. And then, I don't know, my crew is 6 and myself wandering around trying to help people out. And I have one spot has to be kind of a Joe approved yard master, because if it isn't a yard master that can make things flow, everybody ends up standing around and eating all the donuts up. So I'd like to leave a couple for me for later in the afternoon.
yeah, your yard master is not railroading 101, but that's part of the joy that you have advancements. Like I said, our operators retreat, you can, up your skills, hey, let me have a challenge.
Yeah, right. It is a challenge. I've seen grown men reduced to weeping.
I'm still here, Joe. You don't.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I beg your pardon. I thought you signed
Right
off.
But no, I like Joe's layout is built for people of all experiences, and he's always helpful. Wonderful crews, wonderful donuts.
It's the highlight.
The highlight. Yes, it always is. So this is a little quick video, railfanning on Washington Avenue, and then we'll talk about it after. So let me add this up here and put that there.
Tom, have you unfroze yet?
Now, okay, now I'm unfrozen there. I know.
You had me worried.
You guys were lucky I was gone for a second there. So lots of questions popped up. Joe, are you ready for the?
Sure. I can't see them because I'm in StreamYard on YouTube, but yeah, I'm ready. Read them out to me.
The first question I have is for Heath. I see Heath is here. You guys know Heath joined us the Riverside Transfer Facebook group.
There you
And some people are trying to get Heath. Do you need a YouTube channel to chat in YouTube? I'll have to see if that's the thing. So what are the first one I had? They want to know, is this HO scale, Joe? What is scale is it?
Yes, it is HO scale.
Okay. And what is Washington Avenue? Is that a junction?
Yes. So there's a passenger station there, and then on the right side is the Sampson Memorial Tower. And the line splits to either go to St. Paul or to the north side of the Twin Cities, and thence up to Winnipeg. In my mind, I just developed a Winnipeg to Houston, Winnipeg to or and then Minneapolis down to Peoria. And I saw someone asked where they interchanged with the nickel plate, and in Peoria is where the Emmett St. L and the Central Minnesota interchange with the nickel plate, among other railroads.
Will you tell us more about the Sampson Memorial Tower?
So we had an open house here for a while, or on a Sunday or Saturday, and William and Bill were over talking to me about the layout, and had quite a nice discussion and a nice visit with them. And then we were all standing kind of by that area in the layout, and William had on a hooded sweatshirt, and he turned around and he caught the tower and sent it to the floor. Fortunately, there was no damage done, and everything in the tower and without the tower work as they should. So
there's, I guess I wish we would have thought about this earlier and put a picture up of that area. Can you explain how the interlocking works at the Minneapolis junction, Washington Avenue junction?
So I have the hump yard purveyance levers, and I have a lever electric switches. And then a friend of mine, Dave Zune, developed a Arduino driven logic board. So there's a lock lever. So if you push that back, nothing works. And then there's a lever for each turnout and each signal. And there's no detection in it. So everything it's kind of a traffic flow as opposed to a true interlocking. So you pull the levers to throw the turnouts and pull the levers to align the signals. And the best you get on the Central Minnesota is a yellow signal. We can't afford green.
Nobody gets a clear signal on the Central Minnesota.
No, everything's
Nobody.
restricted.
So everybody wants to know about this plum colored, because I've heard.
Thank you very much. You get an extra Kewpie doll and an extra donut. I like to build F units, and so I developed the Central Minnesota, and I had details on one of the F units and was ready to paint it. And I asked my wife of 30 years, sweetheart, what color do you think I should paint this? Not thinking clearly, because I knew what her answer was going to be. And she says, oh, I like purple. And I was like, oh, shoot. I should have given her directed choices as opposed to a wide open choice. So since she finances the vast majority of the railroad and the house in which it lives, I elected to do the wise thing and paint plum on the locomotives. Everybody says, oh, you got to do gold stripes. I said, I'm not the Atlantic coastline. There will be no gold on my railroad.
So you have quite an eclectic power mix. Is that the 53 date helps you with that to have?
Yeah. So the very newest thing I have is an FP9, which is a little bit darker than the plum, but it's overall plum with a black or a gray roof. And then I have, when the world was created, God intended switchers to be black with stripes on them. So my switchers are black with orange stripes. So the GP7 and the SD7 and my RS3, and then I have a HH660 are black with gray or orange stripes on them. And then the road freights, the road power is F units, or I have an Erie belt for my train 22 and 21. Those are gray with the plum trim colors.
All right. Now we saw lots of interchange. How many railroads do you interchange with? I even saw a Rock Island passenger car. And
yep. So what I was trying to do there was get the flavor of passenger cars circulating around the country and carrying passengers from all over. The train that comes up from Houston, train 22 right now, has an extra coach because it's hunting season. So we want to have, all those hunters want to go up to northern Minnesota and Canada and blast away at the various animals that we need to eat. So probably should be a sleeper, but I had a coach laying around, so I threw it on there. But so I have Pennsylvania, and I don't have anything New York Central. Sorry, Mike Mayer. I have Atlantic Coastline. I have a Pullman pool car. I have a Rock Island car. the M and St. L interchanged with the Santa Fe in Nemo, Illinois. So if you were going to go on the Santa Fe, rather than going to Omaha or Kansas City, you would go east to go west. You would go to Nemo, Illinois, and then go down. So I added that in just, oh, that's kind of cool. So what really happened is Mike Lustig gave me a 10-6 sleeper, or maybe I bought it. I think I bought it off of eBay because I wanted to do something specific with it. And it turns out I bought the wrong car. I bought a Bud car rather than a Pullman car. So I asked Mike, what do I do here? And he says, oh, make it a Santa Fe one. Oh, dang, that's perfect. And I had the decals already in my decal selection. So no cost.
Now, your operation, how do you operate? What's your system?
You mean train control or?
Yes.
So-
No, not train control, car movement.
So I use car cards and waybills.
Okay.
So I use the Ship It car system, and I've done it twice or three times. The first time I did it and it was fine. And then I decided I wanted to improve it and do a better job and not have any errors. I believe there are more errors in that time as opposed to the first time. So it's a 4 or 5 cycle waybill, 5 cycle if you count the cycle on the car card. And I try to be disciplined and keep the car cards with the card, but sometimes I end up changing it, and then now I have to go through and try and sort through 300 freight cars to find the right card for the car. So
First
Also
world
noticed
problem.
Yeah,
Exactly,
the details, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, what were the other questions? Oh, about weathering. So I think Ralph was asking, but 1953, you're not going to see tagged and beat up cars, or what do you feel about that?
Well, much less graffiti if you see a car that is not tagged today, it's like, oh, look, 1953, you wouldn't see much of that. What you would see, and most of my cars have this, is chalk marks from the conductors or the switchmen. So I use decals or a white pencil or a gray pencil to, write various and sundries on the sides of the cars to help them sorting the cars. Weathering is mostly airbrush, sometimes a wash, sometimes the different powders. I try and vary things a little bit. I've been told by people who think they should know that the roofs should be more black than they are based on the soot and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. At some point I get bored with the car and I want to move on to the next one.
Sure. There were a lot of questions about the pet food building and the fact that it's a nice building. What is that building created from?
I think, because that's one from Rich Ramirez that he gave me, I think that is a DPM kit that he kit bashed, and it fits perfectly because it's on an angle in the back. You can't see it from the videos we took, but which allows for a street scene behind it. But it's just stuck together, bashed together, and then I painted it, I think. But it's a couple industries in there.
No, yeah, that was a good one. And the standard oil things, I think the first time I saw that, we all thought those were cans of paint.
Those are from my friend John Brack from his former Northern Pacific layout. And he sold it to me when he took his layout down, and it's moved around a couple times on the layout. I think it's in its final home this time.
So some guy by the name of Heath says, how many weeks did it take you to build your layout?
Many. We started in March of 2009, and it's still not, the scenery is not all complete yet, but I've got quite a bit of it done thanks to my friends Doug and Rich Ramirez, and I've done some as well. And we've started operating as quick as we could, so we went right after it as quick as we could. So things have been added on.
So you had passenger car switching. Now you do that a lot. People were talking about they were glad to see it wasn't twice around and put to bed. So
yeah, right. No, there was an article in a rail model journal several years ago about the Canadian would come to, I think it's Sudbury, but I could be wrong, And it would go from one train into two trains, and they would go off in different directions. And I thought that was really cool. So for a while we were doing it where where two sections would be combined into one, and there would be some cars maybe from St. Paul that were added in. But then I simplified it a little bit and made it two sections still, but we still do the switching. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of fun. Gives the guy something else to look at. Uncoupling the passenger cars with diaphragms is a treat sometimes.
And then people talked about your backdrops. They liked how you blended them. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Those are courtesy of my friend Rich Ramirez, and he has lots and lots of different ones, and he's very good at applying them. And then when we do the scenery, sometimes what he does is we'll overcoat them with a clear fixative, of a matte fixative, and that like a dull coat basically, right? And then when he glues them on with glue sticks, and then when we come along and do the scenery, sometimes it gets too wet and then it soaks up and makes them wrinkle, and the colors come off and all that kind of stuff. So we have to patch them in, but he'll make a copy of them, and then we can use it to fix if we have to. But he's done a lot of work, especially on his layout, where you take you change the color of the roof on a barn, or you take off all the antennas and the electric lines and take out cars that you find that don't fit the era and that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're adding a backdrop is one step, and then adding fascia, and then that really finishes off even an unscenic layout to a certain level. Really makes it look good.
No, it looks good. Your layout looks good because you don't even have skirting, and no one cares.
No, I'm more of a kilt guy. No, I've got too much stuff under there that I need access to.
So those of you watching, and if you're watching this on replay, please leave us a comment if you enjoyed this type of video. Ken was talking about a Railfan rather than the old layout tour. We want to do more like this that are pre-made rather than going live to someone's house with sketchy Wi-Fi and uploads. And so you'll see a lot more of this. Next week we'll have Colin Sullivan here discussing scratch building. Colin won Best in Show at the latest convention. Scratch built a huge N-scale, hear that, Heath? N-scale Union Station. And then the following week, Joe and I, we're going to go Railfan, the fabulous Ken Borowski, Clinchfield layout down in South Carolina, and do a Railfan video for that. Yeah, Ken?
Just a bit of clarification. The fabulous layout of Ken Borowski.
No, I think
not the fabulous Ken Borowski.
No, I think it's the fabulous Ken Borowski. I beg to differ.
Okay.
Well, he was fabulous till he started asking about Joe's tuna boat or something.
Yeah. No, his name is Tuna Boat. I'm Corn Pop.
So we're going to branch out and do that, and hopefully we'll come back to Joe's layout and have an operations discussion. We can follow one of his alley jobs. Joe has built into his layout two of these industrial alleys in Minneapolis that is 4-level chess game. But it's fun. It's really a fun thing. So
that sounds like
CNW Mondovi line. I'm one of the few people that can pronounce Mondovi correctly. Went to high school with Ken.
He doesn't seem that old to me. I thought Paul was a lot younger than that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that they had buildings when Ken went to high school. I thought they was just out in the.
Well, Ken Borowski said, 11th grade was the best 6 years of his life. So
only 6.
Yeah. He was captain of the football team, 5 years. So, so if anybody has any more questions for Joe, we see John Zacharias and the Minnesota Fremo have joined the crowd. We'll be going down to videotape them in the city of Burnsville. On their Facebook page, they will be posting times, and they were given 2,000 to 3,000 square feet to set up, I believe. So that'd be nice. Anything else, Ken, we got for Joe?
I don't think so, Joe. I think that your show was fantastic. One of the comments that was made there that I thought was good is you showed passenger car switching, which we don't get to see very often, and that's pretty cool. I did notice that your crews made a few of those joints such that the patrons were spilling their coffee. So you need to work on that.
I think Tom sped the speed up, and so that made it look like I was a klutz.
They were
That's what I
trying to
thought.
get rid of passenger service anyway. So that
Yeah. When do we have passenger service on the Split Rock?
Yeah, mail never complains. Yeah.
That's right. I appreciate it. Tom did all the hard work. I was just twisting the throttle a little bit and holding up the cards for him for editing later. So,
Yeah.
but no, Tom's the quite the editor. He makes
Yes.
us sound good on the podcast as well too.
Yep.
Yes.
And then
Check out
Tom-
the podcast.
Yep. And Tom, you have some more footage coming from John Hotfed's layout. That'll be pretty special.
Correct. Well, we have at least 3 more John Hotfed layouts, videos coming. The next one will be the 1936 Santa Fe Super Chief, where they ran the original Bulldog diesels and a mix of heavyweights and the first streamlined car they had on John's Eastern Colorado layout. Just beautiful. Then we've got a couple freights with steam and Jeep 9s, and I think the Grand Canyon with PAs, and then a good interview with John will be coming up.
Great.
So
Great.
we'll be adding a lot to that. We'll be adding the video you watched of Joe's will be available separately on our channel later. We'll post that up as its own video, so it doesn't have to get messed up with the jugheads here from the podcast. So
Excellent. I can refer my family to it, and they can tell me how wonderful I am.
yes, yeah, that'd be a good layout to show people when you know what model railroading is, so it's not the figure 8 around the Christmas tree or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I think we did an hour here, folks. And,
We did.
We did.
I think for the first show we did good. A couple of mishaps. We'll work on that, and we hope to see you again next Friday night. Always, we're open to any comments, criticism, suggestions.
And be sure to like us on
Like us.
Facebook. We appreciate that. And also, don't hesitate to drop us a note if you've got some ideas. The whole idea with Friday night is just to sit around, enjoy a glass of water,
Ensign Morgan.
and some good time conversation. So
Yes.
rain or shine, snow, whatever, we'll be here.
Yes,
So,
I enjoyed everyone in chat tonight. Thank you all for asking good questions and making jokes. You know, we will deal with the trolls. There were no trolls. We just appreciate all the comments. So usually we can give a joke here, so we can take one as well. So
There
I
you go.
appreciate that.
Great.
Appreciate all the fun. Everybody have a good weekend. I hope you're not all sugar hide from Halloween.
yep.
And
Watch for your Twin City Division newsletter in your mail. If you don't see it by morning, go check your spam filter, and all the information will be there.
Thank you, fellas, for allowing me to be number one here.
always.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next Friday.
Good night.
See you later.